So I got a pretty simple concept to talk about today, and it's asking yourself, what would it take? So we all have these sort of goals and things that we want to accomplish in life, and we probably ask what it's going to take on a surface level, maybe deep, a little bit deeper than a surface level. But I wanted to talk about how much further into it you can get, and this is something that I hadn't really thought about. I mean, I think we always think about what it's going to take when we decide to do something. But anyway, I came across this question in the book. I think it's called Marketing Outrageously. And the question was, what's it going to take? And the way that it came up on his end is they were trying to save a sports team. And I won't get into too much detail, but they had a sports team and the attendance was really low. And they were like, what's it going to take to have the best sales team in, what was it, basketball? I don't remember. What's it going to take to have the very best sales team? And so the back and forth was like the owner of the team was like, it's impossible. Like we can't afford it. We don't have the budget for all these kind of things. And, then the guy kind of pushed back and he was like, well, let's just figure out what it would take. And so they really got into it and started figuring it out and listing out all the different things they would have to do. And they found that the things that it would take were actually attainable, even though it was sort of a stretch goal. And they ended up accomplishing it and having the best sales team in, I don't remember, basketball, I think it was. So when I was reading that, I started asking myself and putting that against my own goals. And I found that I was not really diving deep enough to really figure out what it was going to take to get to where I want to be. And so the first example is like, let's say you want to get in better shape. It's the sort of surface level would be like, okay, what's it going to take? All right, I got to eat better and I got to work out. That may work, especially if you're young. I mean, that's kind of the approach that I took when I was in my 20s, and I got in really good shape pretty easily. It was obviously a little bit more than that. I was in a calorie deficit, and I would go into the gym in my fucking apartment building. It was this like shitty little gym with like one of those weird generic machines that have, all this different shit all around it. And I just went in and I did all the stuff. And like I had a general idea of how to do things. My dad had showed me some stuff when I was a kid. And so I was able to get in shape really easily. But now at 51, like that kind of stuff it doesn't work quite as well. Your metabolism's a little slower and just things are different. And so, I that's where I came up with the rebuild program. It's like, what is it going to take to get me back in the shape that I want to be in, and also kind of like get my mindset on point. And so it's the 10 pages of reading, 10 minutes minimum of meditation, 30 minutes of workout, 5 powerless tasks, and then eating healthy, so, but that was kind of it, and so what I'm thinking now is like, as I'm really diving into this thing, it's like, well, how many calories do I need to eat? And I need to track that and make sure that I'm actually following that. And what macronutrients do I need? Like how much protein do I need? How much of this and that? And those are things that I wasn't doing. And so when you start to break things down even further, it also gives you sort of a roadmap. So now like every day I know kind of what I need to do. And like, if I'm tracking my food, I'll know if I'm hitting those numbers and things like that. And so breaking it down further not only makes it seem more attainable, it's like, oh, all I have to do is this. And even in the workouts, like it kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's sort of like made me take it a little more seriously, So instead of saying like, okay, I'm going to do some full body shit with like some kettlebells or something and then just kind of do it, I started looking for stuff that was going to be more effective. Like if I want to burn calories and like burn a little bit more body fat, then I need to do specific workouts that are sort of, that will help me along in that process. And so the other thing that I had was I've been talking about this with my team since probably mid last year. And I'm like, by the end of 2025, the beginning of 2026, I want to have our monthly revenue be double what it normally is. And so while we've been growing as a company since 2020, well, we've been growing the whole time, but like 2020 was when the first like real big growth started happening. The first 5 years kind of, it grew a little bit, but it was just, I honestly think that we were growing just simply because we still existed, and we were, doing cool stuff with the community and shit like that. But being more intentional in 2020 up until now has produced a lot more growth. But over the last maybe couple of years, the growth has slowed down a little more than I would like. So every year we're still growing, but I want to grow more. And so I set this stretch goal. And so I had just a general idea of the different things that I was going to do. But I was like, well, what is it really going to take? Like, if I really want to make it happen. And so that's when I kind of used ChatGPT to kind of help jog some ideas out that maybe I wasn't thinking of. And so I ran all that stuff through, and it was coming up with all these different things that I hadn't really thought of. And it's like, you could focus on, doing this strategy because it's not going to cost you more money. And this is something you could do right now that might increase your revenue by a few percent. And basically what it was doing is like breaking down all of these different things that I could do that would increase revenue by a little bit. It's like Alex Hormozy says something like, there's no silver bullet. It's like a million golden BBs, so it's a lot of little things that will get you towards your goal. And so that whole idea, so if you have a goal, if you're looking for the silver bullet, it's probably going to hold you back. I mean, it's not saying that there absolutely is no silver bullets, but at the same time, a lot of things get accomplished by small little changes and small steps, And so that actually really sort of revitalized my whole thinking process in terms of how I approach goals. I mean, I not completely changed it, because I've been thinking about goals more so on the level of what are the daily tasks that I need to do in order to get there. Not so much like I have this thing that's way out there and I'm going to work hard and someday I might hit that. But it's like, if you really take the time to think like, what exactly is it going to take, and like spend however much time you need to like really write all that stuff out and plan it out, you might be able to find those daily tasks and make it a lot more attainable. So I don't really know what else to say. It's a pretty simple concept, so I'm probably just going to wrap this one up short. I don't know how long I've been talking. It seems like just a few minutes, but anyway, maybe if you have any kind of goals or any kind of things that you're trying to accomplish, ask yourself, what is it going to take, and try to dig much deeper than just the surface level, and you might find a lot of things that you wouldn't think about. All right.
Appreciate each and every one of you guys who are supporting the cause and continue to spread the love. And yeah, stay up.